Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Duskhaven PTR. It is the third PTR that they have, and today I've actually decided that I'm going to try out the class that I never played when I played original Duskhaven, and that's the Tinker class. Now, I did get a comment in one of my videos, part 2, saying they thought that they added the Tinker and stuff like that, which the Demon Hunter, the Tinker, and the Bard. Unfortunately, the Bard and the Demon Hunter are not in the Duskhaven PTR current. However, the Tinker is. So, I decided that I'm going to show off the Tinker class for a little bit, play around with it, and see how I feel for it. I'm not usually used to classes like this. I don't really care for the mechanical stuff like that. Like I've mentioned in my previous videos, I'm kind of more hyped for the Demon Hunter than I am anything else. But I am intrigued by the Bard. I never had any time to play the Bard, but that will be when it gets there. Now, first I'm going to show here is the Tyrant, because the Tyrant have new things, obviously, like everybody else. They have their nature resistance, of course. They have nature's harvest, which is their current passive racial, which is to gather herbs is reduced, versus having already, I think it's already having a boost in herbalism, I think. Either that or it's the same. Can't remember. But they also have planes running. Now this is like sort of like a forever sprint in a way. They can embrace their natural form and can run up to a great speed, castable while moving. It's sort of like a mini mount, but it's not really a mount. It doesn't move that fast, but it's there. They have the size matters. Now this is unique because we usually have Tarn Endurance, which only gives a flat stamina bonus. But now it's also damage and healing, along with that stamina. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. War Stomp obviously is normal, but this time the War Stomp does damage and the stun. And it can be cast while moving. So it can do some stuff, that's for sure. And they have the Earth Murder provides. Increases the mana and health recovered from food. So eating can recover faster. Now, the Tinker class is a bit different. They have Heat as a passive, which increases damage and healing per 5 heat that I have, but I lose it when I get out of combat. So it's sort of like the Rage, but you don't want to generate too much of it, because you can see here overheating can lose heat, but also increases damage and healing. But obviously when you're exhausted, it's a pretty nasty debuff, so you have to kind of weigh your heat and stuff. You have Heat Shot, which is a range, you acquire, well, obviously, ranged weapon. It shoots 100% range weapon damage plus physical damage. It's castable while moving. It's your pretty much go-to shot that you would normally get, and deals 20% increased damage above 50 heat. So obviously it's your big juggle. You want to get to at least 50 or 60 and kind of stay in that range, unless you really want to tempt it. It's a lifestyle. You start with engineering already, and you have a 50% chance to gain 2 skill levels instead of 1 while leveling engineering, which is pretty interesting. Now, I don't know if I have engineering per se right now, because I don't think they've added that in as a feature, but when we get engineering, it'll definitely show up. The N3 firearm, the ranged weapon is consumed by your standard Tinker's Union issued firearm. Gaining its stats, your firearm can change forms, modifying functionality. It can gain attack power equal to 80% of my intellect and spell power. So we want a stacked intellect, apparently, and spell power for that. And the N3 sniper, modify the N3 firearm to be more deadly against one big bad. Storm silver ammunition damage is increased by 100%. And we have Storm silver ammunition, which your shots zap enemies for volcanic damage, equal to 20% of your intellect, which is 3. And material self-replenishment, removing your need for normal ammunition. So we don't really need a quiver, but they gave us a quiver. And yeah, I don't I've never played Tinker before, so this is all new to me. So I'm gonna probably be pretty rough at it and pretty bad at it versus people who have played it before Duskhaven's revamp. So, um, yeah, so I'm just gonna mess around with the Tinker for a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna go full-fledged unless my comments start telling me I should. But we'll see where it all lies and stuff like that. So this is the planes running. Obviously, it doesn't really increase all that much speed per se, but it's pretty. It's got a good distance on it. All right, let's see. Go ahead with oh, can't planes run and fight. Interesting. So we have a unique weapon. Obviously, it's the sniper. And the heat is generated like focus. And from what I can gather, it's kind of like a pseudo warrior hunter kind of combo. Personally, I'm not really too sure if I'll try to dedicate to this. But I mean, it would probably do some interesting changes and stuff like that. Oh gosh, I wasn't paying attention. I was losing a lot of health there. Is that from the overheating? Let me read that again. Yeah, increased damage. Or the mob's just hitting hard. I think it's the mob's hitting hard. Holy crap. I know Duskhaven right now in the PTR is doing some damage balancing, but I didn't think it was gonna be this rough. I did try out the Rogue for a little bit. Now Rogue on Duskhaven is very much a curve, and I mean a curve. Very weak at very low levels. That's for sure. Yeah, the birds hit me for 24, 27 damage, but I am reciprocating it. But man, they hit pretty hard. They hit pretty hard. Ain't gonna lie. Not gonna lie about that. That's pretty crazy. We got a new ability for level 2, and that is Storm Shot. So we need 30 heat to fire it, and it's pretty much our heat spender. When fired above 50 heat, Storm Shot electrifies enemies for an additional 20% and slows them down. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I can see what that looks like here.
Our ability isn't ready.
Oh, it's a good long cast too, but it does significant amount of damage. The slow doesn't last long. I guess that's probably for the best.
I can't.
So we have a heat spender, and we have a heat generator. So yeah, pretty much like a warrior. Yeah. Not too bad. Now I do notice there are some changes to the starting zone for the Taran, and that is the big, well, leather ball is gone. So I can only imagine people are gonna fall off quite a lot. And these birds hit pretty hard. I'm actually now worried about lifting. I know when I was a shaman, I was taking decent hits and getting hit pretty rough, but I could heal through that, and unfortunately, I don't have any heals. I don't have healing abilities. I can cast while moving, well, heat shot, but I can't cast while moving with storm shot. Interesting. I'm learning as I go. I guess this would also, well, make kiting probably a little easier, and I won't have to sit here and take a bunch of hits with no reason. 3, level 3, and we get recoil shot. Now a heavy shot that deals 50% weapon damage plus a percentage, and launches your target backwards and knocks them down for 1 second. Movement impairing effects are removed when used.
Ah,
Interesting.
I've been expecting you.
So that's another heat spender. Okay. Not so bad. Not too bad, I guess. I can already tell you that me playing this class right now, I don't really feel the class. Which I think is a pretty shame, because I think it's not a bad class. It's a pretty good class, but it doesn't scream out to me that I want to play it. But maybe after I get through the starting zone, play a good bit of time on it, it might make my feelings change. We'll find out. I did get a couple comments on that video, on that part 2 video that I did with my shaman, and a couple of them. Yes, gold shear. It's quite literally pronounced gold shear. You can't fight me on this. Warcraft 2. If you literally play Warcraft 2, and in the novel, it's literally labeled and pronounced Gold Shear, not Gold Shire, which honestly does look like it says like that, but no, Blizzard has specifically called it Gold Shear, so I'm calling it Gold Shear. That's the end of the discussion on that. I'll probably get bullied by that. I'll probably get bullied more about the way I pronounce that. That's fine. I'm not that mad. It's just that's how it says it. So I did get that comment about the bards, demon hunters, and stuff like that, and I've explained at the beginning of the video. Unfortunately, they're just not in yet. It's just the way it goes. I don't know if when or where, or if they will. I hope they will, because I want to test demon hunter really bad. But no, unfortunately, no. It's not in the game yet. Let's see, what was another question? Editor. Yes, I did get a comment about that. Somebody was talking about the props to the editor for keeping up with all the clip stealers. I really don't know what that means. I don't really know what that means. I don't have an editor. I don't even edit. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be completely straight with you guys. I don't edit my videos. All of my videos are like this. I just do unedited, raw, 30-minute increments of time of just doing this, and I post it. That's it. There's no magic. There's no smoke and mirrors. There's nobody working on my videos. I don't even have enough money as it stands to afford an editing software to do this long term. Right now, this is a hobby to me. You know, the classic whole it's a hobby until it becomes a job kind of deal. That's pretty much how this is lining up for me right now. So, to answer that question, I don't know what clip stealers are. Unless there's literally people out there who will go around to random videos and try to do fake clips and pretend to be me. Which, I'll be honest, that's pretty low. Pretty petty. I'll be honest, but you won't get too much attention from my videos. That's for sure. Another one. Another comment was from says any release date. To be honest, they have not given out a release date yet. Unfortunately, there is no release date, to my knowledge. They're gonna run this PTR for a while. I know that much. I know they were going to run it for a while, but I don't think they had a definite time where they were going to shut it off. I think, to be honest, I think they're just going to run it until they feel comfortable enough with the feedback from the community before they decide to take it back down. Um, so yeah, I'm looking back at this. Yeah, there is no say of any release date yet. Um, I'm not really sure how many more PTRs they're gonna do, but since this is going to 1 to 40, I will assume the next PTR is gonna go 160, and they're gonna add the 50 to 60 stuff, and have the community test that. Make sure the quests from 1 to 60 are good to go, and the dungeons are too. So until then, there's no definite release date. I don't even know when this PTR is going to be closed. I'll be completely clear about that. The Duskhaven Discord has a lot of the information and stuff. Fortunately, I don't have a I don't know if I can actually post a Discord invitation because I'm not really a big member there. I'm a quiet observer on the Discord. You wouldn't even know I was there if you're in the Discord. In fact, I use the same name as my channel name, but I don't post my videos up on there. Feels kind of weird to do that. I don't even have a dedicated Discord for this because I don't have a general community yet. In fact, the second video on the PTR that I did was actually the best overall video I have on my channel. It's the only video on my channel that has over 400 views. So goes to show I don't really have a community. Which, if more videos like this pop off, I'll try my best to make more. I try to be variety with games that I actually enjoy playing and don't feel tied down to it. So, it is my perspective. I think playing the games that you want to play for fun is better than trying to play games that you know that you're not going to have fun with. I mean, pretty stupid if you're going to play a game that you won't enjoy. But I get it. After some time, people feel dedicated to actually playing one game because that's what makes them popular. But I don't want to be the type of person to be tied down to one game. Because that would drive me nuts. I mean, I've played World of Warcraft for 20 years. And I just now started doing, really pushing down the videos. And I don't have any editing experience. And I don't really have professional filmography either. So I'm not the best guy at this, but I try to be good enough. How's that? Is good enough a good answer for that? This question? No. Well, we'll see. I will try to... The first comment that I got on that video says that they were really looking forward to it and they can't really get into the game, which I think is a shame because they don't have a can't seem to connect to the beta at the moment. They can't connect to the PTR. And to answer that question is because the server constantly goes up and goes down. It fluctuates, and when it goes down, it's maintenance essentially. There's constant maintenance, and that's the breaks of it, And it's just how it is. It's PTR, it's testing, I couldn't even call it a beta. I mean, I guess you could call it a beta, but it's not an alpha either. I did get a new ability and I forgot to talk about it. It's called the Death Laser. Unleash the Death Laser, dealing 88 nature damage to all enemies in a 25 line. 25 line? And stunning enemies that are hit for 1 second. So I will assume that that 25 line is a 25-yard line, and anything that's, say I shoot this Death Laser at this cougar and it intersected with those two would be pulled too. I will assume that's what it means. I can't guarantee that's what that means. But I'll take a guess as to that is being what that is. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say it like that. I also got Bandage Shot, which is your first heal ability for the Tinker, which is you shoot out bandages. That's that's what I'm going with. It's just a heal. It's an insta heal and it heals for 25 every 2 seconds. It looks like I would be shooting. If this scales, then I could say that this is like a Lenin bandage, not Lenin bandage, not a heavy Lenin bandage, but a Lenin bandage. That would be my guess as to what that means. Tinker class is not so bad when you actually get some actual abilities to use instead of just heat shot. So yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. I still don't have a feel for the class. It's like Rogue in this. Like, I love Rogue. I like playing Rogue. Rogue's like one of the best classes that I play on retail. Next to Monk, obviously, and stuff like Warlock, but I think it's just kind of nestling into the class and getting acclimatized to it. See, with me, Demon Hunter on retail, I never liked Demon Hunter on retail, but when I actually put it into thought and actually played it, I did kind of enjoy it. Though I did not like. My big problem with Demon Hunter is that I think any race can be a Demon Hunter. It's a pretty easy bonding experience with your soul and a demon soul to infuse yourself to. I don't think elves are the only ones that can do it. This is my opinion on that. I know that Duskhavens will probably fall in line with that.
Well met.
And they will keep it as, you know, Night Elf and Blood Elf as the two only options. I can see them doing that because that's what they did originally, and I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity that will allow the other races to do it. I think any race that on here can play Rogue can be a Demon Hunter, but that's just my wild take. That's just my wild take. So my thought so far on the Tinker as it stands at level 5 is not so bad. It's not as fast as leveling with the Shaman, but it's a lot faster and more durable than the Rogue I played off screen. I could show Rogue gameplay next, but I'm going to try and make that slow, methodical grind that I've been having in the starting zone. I'll wait till I'm level 10 before I really show the Rogue off, because I hear that the Rogue is pretty bad. Like, low damage output, can't really squeeze out damage. Very squishy until level 10, and then when they hit level 10, there's like a huge spike in damage. So, I will only assume that I need to do that. So, I'll be off screen for a while doing the Rogue. So, the crew behind Duskhaven is actually playing the PTR too. They are in the guild that you start in when you come into the game. You are automatically put into the Duskhaven PTR, and everybody on this server currently is generally invited. So there's about 2,330 characters in the guild, but that could also be different as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that people did not leave the guild to make their own little private spaces and guilds and stuff like that. But if you really want to talk to the devs in game, there's usually at least one and at this moment it's Roskin. Roskin's online, and he does live bug reports and stuff like that. So if people have an issue with certain quests and stuff like that, people don't need to open up tickets. I mean, it helps them that they did write tickets because they can see, you know, a lot better. But you can just mention in the chat here, and Kami's online. Kami, I mean, he's online, and both of them can take questions, and they can do, like, if somebody has an issue or a bug, they can be like, hey, there's a bug here, I need help with this question, and they'll generally go out of the way to fix that issue there, make sure it doesn't, you know, keep happening. So they're very, very hands-on. They're really hands-on right now, which is a good sign. Most devs need to be like that. I know Ascension devs are like that, and stuff like that. I actually might make Ascension videos. I'm tempted to do that, but right now I'm just doing Duskhaven. I did get a new ability called Blast Off. It says here, assisted by rocketry, launching yourself upwards and forwards, inflicting 10 damage to all enemies in a 10-yard cone behind you, slowing their movement by 30%, and it's castable and generates 5 heat. So this is like a really crowdy version of Charge. Yeah, this is a pretty cruddy version of Charge. Or Heroic Leap. Would it be Heroic Leap? I'll assume it's Heroic Leap. Let's see. Very, very effective going downhill. Not so much uphill. Yeah, I think with more abilities, Tinker class does feel a little bit more fleshed out. A little bit. Not a whole lot. I have not fallen in love with the Tinker yet. That might change. It might. We'll say the damage, though, is pretty hit and miss. Then again, if you're watching a guy who's played Classic WoW since 2019 and is used to certain damage numbers versus the Wrath client. Yeah. Not so bad. No, I do know that some classes have some changes. Not a whole lot of changes, it's still the same. But some of the races have definitely changes on them. And I'm gonna try and play every race that I can to see if what's changed and what's not changed. So it's definitely going to be on the list of things to do. Definitely going to be on the list of things to do. This video might be a little longer because I am going to try and get all this starting zone stuff done, and wrap up the video after I finish. Well, when I get the quest to go to Bloodhook Village, I'll end the quest with this little opening test for the Tinker, and such as that. I'm sure nobody's gonna mind it being a little longer. Just a wee bit longer. I don't think anybody's gonna mind about that. Juggling heat is definitely going to be a process. It's definitely going to be a bit of a process to try and juggle heat. Because mindlessly able to cast one ability while moving is definitely enticing. It is definitely enticing. Versus ones that you don't do for. Alright. Let's see, we're already close to the 30-minute mark. I'll actually break this off into 2 parts and get to probably a few parts. I'll probably get to level 10 and see what they have there and contemplate if I should go further. So until the next part, which is going to be next day probably. Till then, peace.